Enjoy a screen recording of me redrawing a thumbnail from the original soundtrack while I talk about plot holes. The newest installment of the Garten of BanBan saga released, and I personally enjoyed it. It gave some answers and new update reports and merchandise. I want those keychains on my backpack, please. And like I said in my most popular short now, thank you YouTube algorithm, Garten of BanBan 0 truly made sense. It was nice to think about it that way, because there are some plot holes in this game. Or at least I think they're plot holes. So please hold your thoughts and speculations for the comment section after the video. Because those update reports aren't helping me as much as I thought they would. It might just be the thing that would just break the series completely. Let's look back at the beginning. We're supposed to be greeted by an employee, but instead we see Six. So did Six steal the ring from Syringeon? No, but why we see Six instead of an employee is beyond me, because he is definitely not an employee. I think. I mean, besides the fact it would be a hassle animating a human. Let's face it, I don't think that's actually gonna happen. But it was implied that Syringeon altered Ramamba and nabbed the unnamed doctor's DNA to try and help Six with his issues. So maybe he was busy doing that. More on that later. So Syringeon is definitely not on our side. Well, his side. So what case number is Flumbo? The official update report confirms him to be case 6C! Not no less than 43 like I originally wrote down. So why does it say case 4 on the scanners? I speculate that all cases at least have one keycard to access their rooms. But you know what other cases don't have that we do? A keyring. So maybe the scanner probably picked up the ring that belonged to Syringeon? And why BanBan had it? Maybe those two were plotting in advance before we woke up. But we do know this. He is not, in fact, case 4, because like I said before, why fix something that isn't broken? That's just silly. Speaking of broken, I'm here to talk about the paper found in Garten of BanBan 3. It's about introducing case 6 and 7. And 7 being made of the genome of the only person that K6 would talk to. Now, I was under the impression that 7 also thought she was a human, which is confirmed to be true in Garten 6. But they already knew each other in 0. And the papers in 0 marked them as juvenile. But they already knew each other when they were juvenile, so what's happening? Wasn't this the first time they met? If so, shouldn't it say juvenile on those papers, right? It should, right? Put a pin in that thought. I might solve this, but it's purely speculation, so you've been warned. So way back in Garten 2, we find out that K6, aka BanBan, thinks he's human, sees himself as human, and even shares memories of the human. But in this game, we see him calling himself 6. And same with Banbalina, she's called 7. So why is this? My speculation is this. Remember how Syringeon was going to give 6 some DNA from that doctor? Maybe that also came with the new memories? But why would I think this? Well, a Garten 2 paper says that he has the same level of intelligence as the genome donor. And, quote, K6 is also capable of speech as fluently as the original genome donor, end quote. So stick with me here, because trying to make sense of all this was a roller coaster of its own. What if when he was created, he was given a genome other than Uthman, and the procedure talked about in Update 1 in the second game was referring to a sort of genome replacement? Well, what about the genome cloy? I don't know! Maybe there was an added solution which gave him those memories. Maybe he did cloy with that extra hit of DNA given in 0 and had to get a brand new set of DNA. But then why is case 6B not mentioned in this report? The doctors seem to have forgotten its name. Or maybe it was a different group of doctors. Maybe it was the LLTT that wrote those juvenile notes. Maybe there's a higher level of doctors in the facility that handle the cases in the beginning months. Now, instead of talking about all the ways that it does absolutely just not make sense, let's talk about the things that did actually make sense and actually confirmed some things. Starting with 1. Banbalena's bow is not made of clay. 2. The cases were small at one point. 3. Syringeon and BanBan seem to have a dad-son relationship. That's kind of cute. 4. Troubletoot exists. He's either roaming around or he's hiding with Flumbo. Or maybe he's dead, I don't know. 6. It was BanBan who hid Flumbo from the scientists so he would not be replaced. 7. The cases were inanimate at one point. 8. Banbalena is a smartass. Number 9. 6 likes 7, but she's not interested. I'm personally rooting for him though. 10. The cases were kept in different rooms. I say this because 17 was here, and for example, cases like Stinger Flynn, aka 13, were probably kept in a separate place. And numeral 11, BanBan is not to be trusted. Now, let's talk about the wild thoughts. So let's start with that guitar. I think it's safe to say that I wasn't the only one who was caught off guard when we saw that. In a good way, it was a pleasant shock. I honestly thought it might have had a bigger role in 0. I honestly thought we were gonna take the hammer and smash it or give it to 6 or something. But if y'all remember at the beginning, 6 said something about switching rooms, and I think it's safe to say that's the original room that he was put in. But here's what I think might happen in the future involving that guitar. Picture this. At the end of the game, BanBan picks up his guitar and plays it, roll credits. Which I hope does not happen in the next game, because that sounds like an end of the series type of ending, and they've still got a lot of questions that need to be answered. But another thought, what if Flumbo dies? I'm serious. What if BanBan somehow loses his mind, kills Flumbo, and plays sad guitar? I'll explain farther. Let's talk about Slow Celine. She hasn't been featured in a game for a while, so it's nice to see her again. And turns out she has visions. Because it's not enough to have sci-fi surgeons and magical scepters and towering clay terrors, we also need prophets. He walks in and meets her, and she says he's not present for most of her visions. But when he is, he's mostly accompanied by a stranger. I'm assuming she means parent. I can't think of any other strangers. For now. So with that thought in mind, could that mean Flumbo is gonna meet a sad end? BanBan isn't allowed to die because his name is in the title, but I just feel like one of them is gonna bite the dust. So let's put that on True's blind dart throwing board theories. Because it could easily just mean, oh, because we hid in a closet for who knows how long. Speaking of parent, a while back I said that we play as a case, due to us surviving long falls and Toadster's arrest, which is mentioned in an update report basically saying humans get hurt whenever he tries to manhandle them. But at the end of 7, we're stabbed by Syringeon. Whether we're dead or not, probably not, but, and this is a big but, we play as a case. Yes, I'm back on that. What if we play as a case? Or at least for one game. I think that'd be pretty cool, personally. Aside from the actual game that we just played. Like, for one game, we play as one of them. Very confused, very lost, we don't know what we're doing, and then we come face to face with an actual animated human, which is us. I don't know, this is a very wild idea. It's probably not gonna happen, we probably don't play as a case. I'm willing to accept that, but I'm also not willing to completely let it go until we actually see a person. And since there's still room to, like, continue talking, I'm gonna talk about the things that I personally enjoyed. Like the actual ending. The big twist. Because I thought it was brilliant to have what happened to most people growing up, because we all had those rotten friends who would just forget about you, and you're under a table at a public park, and you hear your mom calling you, but you're dedicated to the win, and end up giving her a heart attack and getting in trouble. To happen in the most extreme way possible to Flumbo. Personally, if I were Flumbo, I would just have this built-up rage inside of me if I found out that one of who I thought was my friend would do that. So, who knows, maybe there could be like this crazy boss fight happening. We also got some form of confirmation from Syringeon that there are some like, he's plotting something, and I feel like that might also continue on into BanBan 8. Also, those end credit scenes were so good that I watched until the complete end, expecting an end scene. It was that good. I also really enjoyed watching how the dynamics were with the characters back in the day. I liked how we got to see, like, for example, BanBan being the self-proclaimed leader of the group, and BanBalina still being that overly aggressive teacher, and how Kittysaurus was found too, that's cute. And how we were basically the golden child of the group. And there's still a lot of details that I want to cover on this game that I didn't really have time to fit into this video. This video was actually supposed to be shorter, but the footage here that you're seeing, when it was sped up, like, it was just hard to watch, and I didn't want to do that. So, without further ado, here's my closing statement with Garten of BanBan 0 and the entire franchise. I love this game, but right now it looks messy. But hey, maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe there's just a simple explanation. I might need to just not think about it. Turn off your brain and just enjoy it. Just don't think about it too hard. I am hoping that the developers do have a plan. I'm sure they do have a plan, because like, we have a lot of other different cases. That's also something we've learned in Garten 0. There's like at least 40 other cases out there roaming the facility, so if they want to go that route, we can literally just have 17 games of BanBan stretched out across like 9 years. But for now, at the end of the day, the game is really just something you sit back and just enjoy. One of my favorite parts in the game is the dream sequences, the lovely stinger dreams, that's what I call them, because they just make no sense, and it's just fun. So, those are my thoughts on the new game, or rather pointing out the contradictions, which hopefully have an easier explanation than what I've just given in this video. Comment your thoughts and speculations down below, and if there's anything I missed that confused you, let me know, and I might just make a part 2 in trying to figure this stuff out with what ifs and why nots. So thank you guys so much for watching, and have a fantabulous rest of the day, or day yet to become, because it could be nighttime when you record your heads. Well, a garden paper to... well, a garden van... Do I need to take a break or something? What's going on with my mouth? BanBalina is a smart and cases like Stinger Flynn, who I think are 13? I need to double check that, hold on.